Okay, here we are again at the July 2014 Project of the Month video, and this month we are going to go with wishing you well, got that rundown feeling, heard you caught a bug cards, because I don't know about your area, but everybody in my area is complaining of summer colds and allergies, so it just seemed like the thing to do. We're going to start off with the wishing you well. Move this out of the way. And this card is put together more like a puzzle than anything. Got my paper. Oops. Let me get the right paper. There we go. There's my paper. There's the card we're going for. First thing I want to do is get the placement of things correct. So I'm going to grab my mushroom and my black ink. Start off by placing my mushroom down. This is a quick drying pad for watercolors, so I can watercolor over it. And I'm not going to worry about how well this one's stamped, because basically this is my placement mushroom. Now what I mean by that, I want to get some of the branches behind the mushroom, but trying to mask them and get everything masked behind the mushroom when I'm doing it can get a little complicated. So I'm going to cover up what would be the ground and take my branch, and I'm not going to worry that part of it overlaps and ends up on the mushroom, like right down there. And we'll do on this side, and it's okay if a leaf or two ends up hitting the mushroom. Do one a little farther over there. And part of the mushroom got some stems on it. But what I'm going to do is stamp the mushroom again. Grab an extra piece of stock. Stamp our mushroom. Pick it up well. And then we color this one and cut this one out. And to color it, depending if you want your mushroom to have a red cast or a yellow cast, start off, these are Tombow watercolor markers. Start off with a very light sort of lemon yellow, and then I'm going to grab, close up my ink pad, a soft brown, and I'm going to pick up some of the brown with my lemon yellow marker, and that just builds the color. And it doesn't hurt the marker at all to add that light brown. Go back in with a lime green, color underneath the mushroom to create the shadow. Add a little lime green around the top. You can see how it's starting to shade a bit. Go back in with my brown. Shade the bottom of the rim of the mushroom, bottom edge. So you'd get this all colored, and then what you do is just like magic, you'd have one all cut out. There's my mushroom, and I would go and glue it right on top of that one, and it would cover up the stems and unwanted things rather than trying to mask part of it off on the bottom and mask the mushroom, because when you're going to create the mask for the mushroom, you'd have to cut the whole thing out anyway, pretty much. And this way I can glue that one down, just a glue stick. But before I do that, I'm going to go in and color my stems. This is just a soft mossy green. I'm going to build my color. Not worrying too much that I went outside the lines here or there. Go back in with the limey green again. Okay. back in the blue. This is more of a periwinkle kind of blue. Alright. And then the last thing is add some brown in there for the stems. You want them to stand out a little bit. There are my little leaves. Again, my mushroom would be glued down. Now on my finish card, I have one leaf that's over the front. You can see, over the front of the mushroom. And what I did there is I stamped one and cut it out, and when I determined where I wanted it over the front of my mushroom, I would cut out in between the individual leaves. I would do that at the very end. So I have my cutout mushroom. Over here, oops, over here I have some grass. So I'm going to take my little grass, and as you can see, I'm not trying to stamp the whole thing at once. I'm stamping it as I go. It's a little easier for me that way. I can kind of place things and build as needed. Add a little bit of green to my grass. And let's see, some blue. Always when I have more than one tone, go back and throw some of that limey green in there. Kind of a theme with this card. And then we need to have a little bit of dirt under things so it's not floating. See how the card is starting to come together. And then I'm going to stamp my mushroom. I'll do a little baby mushroom over there, and I would color that. And then over here, I want my grass to have a little dimension, so again, I stamped one and cut it out, and I would put a little double stick behind that to create dimension. And then I would grab another little mushroom, and I determined he goes down there. So I have my mushrooms. And then to create dimension, more dimension, I like to have little layers. So I'd have that one cut out. I have smaller mushrooms. I would put double stick behind those. Maybe one sticking out there in the middle of the grass. And some smaller fun ones that you can have off to the side. Sticking there. And then the last step to create dimension is the little frog. So you can see how he's up in front of everything. So I took some time and put double stick on him, and then I could place him. You could place him over the mushroom. You could actually put him up sitting on the mushroom if you wanted, or have more than one. But you'd have the mushroom, and then you'd have your saying on there, and there's the wishing you well card. All right. Let me move on to the next card. The next one is the Heard You Caught a Bug card. And that one, I'm going to take my jar, paper, my jar, ink it well, and I'm going to stamp my bug in the middle of it. There we go. Stamped in the middle, and to color my jar, I'm going to start off with a soft gray. And go around it, and you just build your color. Soft gray. some of these markers. Go in and pick up a little soft blue. And just start building the color. And do that, and you would keep building your color. Take and seal up my jar. And we could have this, and then I would color my bug, and then I would cut the jar out and put a few bouncing bugs behind, and the bouncing bugs are these little guys. And I just took some crystal lacquer and made a little wad on the back and colored it, or stuck it down. Like this. You can see there's a little twist. I would flip my wire over and stick it down, and then when it dried, stick it down with crystal lacquer. When it dried, I would have the bug on the wire. On this one, I also put some crystal lacquer on the wings and then put some very fine glitter on it, and it held it down. The saying is the "heard you caught a bug" saying, and I just filled in the little letters to match the colors of the bug, and then I had bouncy bugs. The third card is just a simple little bug that I colored, and then I stuck some wires, used a straight pin, poked some holes through it, used a straight pin, and stuck some wires and poked them through and layered everything, and added some green dots and some green snowflakes, and it's a finished card.